Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. How are you doing? I just wanted to tell you that you have one of the best names ever because my son's name is Chris. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. So, welcome to the favorite platform. And so, overall, my first question to you is what motivated you to bring the Wild Robot to life as a film? Because, it was a book. So, taking a book and bringing it to the big screen, how was that process?
a labor of love to adapt Peter Brown's wonderful, wonderful book. It was all the characters and the themes and the stories in the book and the characters that made me want to do it. It's very much my thing. I've worked on fairy tales and I like that, but when it comes to taking the lead and writing and directing one of these things, this is more my kind of story. I think it's a lot more like our lives. It's more subtle. And I
Yes.
think it's more powerful actually because there's an immediacy and a relatability, I guess, that it has an effect on me. I feel like it's stuff that I've experienced as I watch stories like this.
You know what? The best part about having this job is we get an opportunity to see work before it comes out to the world. And so, with that being said, how did you envision the relationship between the robot and the natural world? And how is that being reflected in the film's visuals and storytelling? Because it was amazing.
I'm so glad you asked that. We wanted to change everything about how these films looked, especially on this story. I thought it was really, really important that we make, I would say, get as sophisticated a look as we did, because this is a sophisticated story. It's simple in some ways, but really, really deep and complex. And I wanted people to just be pulled in. I wanted them to be pulled into the story. As I read the book, I was seeing things in my own mind, in my own imagination. I liken it very much to Bambi. When I was a kid and I saw Bambi, it had this huge effect on me. And part of that is these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful environments that were inspired by the paintings of Tyrus Wong. These soft, painterly places that there's no substitute for the presence of a human hand. Human-made things are there's no substitute for it. So every single thing in this film is painted by hand. The environments are dimensional paintings, and that's never been done before. Even the characters are completely surfaced by brushstrokes, and the effect that comes from that there's no substitute for it. It's absolutely indescribable.
When you say beautiful, there's so many beautiful components to this film. But then on top of that, you brought in our girl Lupita, and you
Mm.
put her as Roz to shape and he shaped the character's development, and she brought a different flair to the movie. So, what unique qualities did she have that help you bring this story to life?
One of the great privileges of making this film was being able to meet Lupita and work with her. She took this very, very seriously, and it shows. The amount of work that she did cannot be overstated. She took the lead in crafting this voice, and it changes. We work together to find her voice at the beginning, and then it changes throughout. And so she's literally changing her voice as the film progresses. So that was. People might be surprised how much actual physical exertion is going on. If you're an actor on a set, you're working on a scene a day, probably. Maybe a scene every few days if it's a big scene. But in an animated recording session, you might go through many, like you might go through 10 scenes. And it's emotionally draining, and it's physically draining. And she was incredible, absolutely incredible. And again, I can't overstate how much she took the lead in crafting this character. We never even recorded right away. We would always have a discussion beforehand. We would talk for upwards of an hour before she even like stepped up to the mic, because we had some really, really in-depth discussions about how does Roz think? How is she thinking? And why does she say what she says? And I made so many changes. Every time we finished a recording session, I would take the notes that were generated by these discussions we had, and I would change things. I would adjust them, and we would come back and we would re-record. So there were many, many iterations as we sculpted this whole character.
Our platform is to inspire and to give hope to our viewers and also our readers. What do you hope that families walk away after they watch this film? What do you want them to walk away with?
I hope they walk away with the same feeling I had as we made the film. I think it allows you to feel, and I think that it might actually open up conversation. A parent will see this and relate to it in one way, but a kid will see this and relate to it equally from their own angle. So anyone who sees this is going to find things that they immediately relate to, just like I did.
Thank you so much. And look, congratulations and have a blessed day.
Oh, thank you so much.
Incident report. At 0300 hours, a number of Universal Dynamics robots were lost in a typhoon. Chance of recovery is unlikely.
Do you need assistance? Aggression detected. I see your problem. Processing language.
You need to learn how things work on this island.
Hello.
Goslings in print on the first thing they see.
Which would be you. You're his mother now.
I do not have the programming.
No one does. He needs to swim and fly.
Swimming's easy. I can teach him the way my mom taught me. Swim! He's a runt. His chances aren't super good.
I will protect him.
He's got to leave this island by fall.
Brightbill!
It is more dangerous for him than anyone else. But he has a chance. If where his wings end, his heart can pay the balance.
You are not easy to find. You are defective. I feel fine. You should not feel anything at all.
Mom?
No!
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be. I will protect all of you.
You are ordered to return home.
I am already home, and I am a wild robot.